Hello, it is me, Fancie Moore, and once again, following up with the Road to 40 lounges. We are now coming back and interviewing the different lounges that I've been to in the series of Why I Lounge. Today, I'm sitting with Aaron Bauer of Paladin Cigars in Fort Worth, and this is the 10th interview. This one is significant to me because I started off with the goal to hit 40 lounges. Of course, now we know I've been to many, many more. But for my 40th lounge, I wanted it to be someplace super special and significant. And I remember that day I was in this beautiful long sundress that was like a beautiful orangish type, and it was just really elegant. And I had
I remember that.
You remember?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you were looking fantastic.
And I was feeling like I was on top of the world. And when I was thinking, where do I want my 40th lounge visit to be? And I wanted it to be significant because the other side of it, it was my birthday time. So there were a lot of different components going on. So I chose Paladin Cigars. And when I walked in that day, I thought this is the perfect place to do my 40th lounge and to cap off my birthday. I don't know if you knew at the time it was my birthday.
No, I did not actually.
Yes.
I think we found out right at the end there.
Yes, so there were a lot of significant factors there. And the other one was I smoked my first Culebra. And a lot of you actually saw the pictures I posted from that visit. That's the triple wrap. It's like 3 little cigars intertwined together. And everybody says, oh, I take them apart and smoke them. Well, I smoked them wrapped together to the very last ribbon until I had to finally take them apart. But the significance in all of that is when you decide something significant and special, and for me, the Road to 40 Lounge is finding the perfect spot. I don't think I could have done better than coming to Paladin Cigars. And am I saying it right? Paladin?
Paladin.
Paladin.
We get a Paladin.
We're going with Paladin.
Yeah,
because
all over the place. But yes.
I'm here to support them. I'm here to tell you about them. Let Aaron tell you about Paladin. And I want to make sure that you understand how it's spoken and tell other people about it. So today, I just wanted to just start by saying thank you for allowing me in the doors that day and allowing me to just sit back and do what I love, which is smoke cigars. And I love to feel like a lady when I'm doing it.
Absolutely.
Whether I'm in a dress, whether I'm in tennis shoes and sports clothes, I still like to feel like a lady. And the classiness of the environment when I walked in, I thought, you know what? I can just sit here all day. And I actually sat here until after you closed.
Yes, yeah, I remember that. It was a Sunday or something, wasn't it?
Was.
Yeah.
And it was an absolute fabulous day. And but what I want to know and what I want to highlight here today is I want to know, how did you get into opening Paladin Cigars?
Well, that's actually kind of an interesting story. Our parents were friends with a Cuban guy a long time ago, and he kind of got us into going down on trips to the Dominican Republic and all of that. So it's kind of started with the culture and the friendship of all of that, and then we started becoming better and better friends with him, and then he was our business partner for a while, for about like the first 3 years when we opened up. We had him as a business partner, and we sold primarily his cigars and whatnot, and eventually we split ways as he had some other interests to take care of. But that was kind of what really opened the door. My dad was always a cigar smoker. He is kind of he's involved in the business here, but to a large degree, it's kind of like a hobby. It's kind of his playhouse,
Yeah.
But really, it's just the society that he had, that's what really wanted him to get into it. Before, he ordered a lot of cigars off of catalog sites and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then when he finally got into the lounge culture back in Reno, Nevada, actually, that's what led to him wanting to open this place. To this day, we still don't really know why we chose Fort Worth, Texas, other than the hand of God that we heard a lot of people say, "Oh, you gotta go to Texas, and you gotta go to Fort Worth," and so here we are.
Wow. Well, I just want to say, like, to you and to the other lounge owners, thank you for us becoming involved in finding this part of life that you wanted to create, because it gives people like me who enjoy it. Of course, you can smoke at home. You can smoke in the backyard.
Sure.
But there's a whole different experience when you come into the lounge. And there's many components that make each lounge what it is. But you can feel the sense of what the owners feel when you come in.
Yeah.
And the one thing I picked up on when I came in and met you is just like you're looking at me now, like you were interested, like, hi, I'm Aaron, what can I do? And it was just that simple, like you were interested in me as a customer. And I could tell you genuinely wanted to know. And my eyes lit up. I remember going, I want this. I didn't know what cigar I wanted to smoke. Well, yeah. I did that day because I was like, I want to smoke my Culebra.
Sure,
but I was like, hey, do you know any other cigars I could buy? Because I love to get a different experience when I go to the lounge, a different lounge. Yeah. And when I told you that, you walked me into that humidor and you were like, okay, if you want this experience, this is pretty good. You actually helped me pick out 3 or 4 cigars that day.
Excellent.
Yes. And so I
hope you enjoyed them all.
I did. I'm like, man, he nailed it. But to me, I still, even though I smoke a lot of cigars, I still don't know cigars.
Sure.
So without someone with knowledge like yours, and then also that love for what you're doing, then I would still struggle with it. Yeah. But I think I have fun because when I tell you what I'm looking for, you help me find it. And I'm sitting at home smoking my cigar on a day I can't get to a lounge. I'm like, man, he picked a good one. It brings back fond memories.
Sure.
So how did you, I know you said you started like your parents, friends, and traveling. How did you develop more knowledge of the cigars themselves?
Well, and thank God for the internet nowadays. And, I mean, honestly, and it's so great now. If somebody comes in and they're looking for a cigar and it's something that we don't carry, I can Google it and I know where it came from, the region, yada yada, what wrapper type. Oh, wow. And so, I mean, that information there is really great. Books are always good, and just listening. I mean, it's kind of like anything that you can find somebody that knows what they're talking about, they want to share that with you, and they want to, especially like the growers and blenders and all that stuff, they'll talk your ear off about all of that stuff. So, just listening to people, picking up on, and listening to what the customer is saying as far as
yes.
And some of the times they don't even know. They might say, oh well, I want this, but then they'll tell you other stuff that's kind of contradictory. And that's what I like about tobacco, and we're not really in sales here. Yeah. We're in more facilitating that experience, and part of that is listening to the customer and their needs. Yeah. But then, like you said, knowing the tobacco and knowing the process, and knowing all of that well enough to get them where they're going. So, meeting the knowledge of the product with their the knowledge of their expectation, and pairing those together. Okay. That's what I really love about all of this.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you, you can have a fabulous looking environment. You can have a humidor full of cigars. You can have the best location, but everything put together doesn't work unless the lounge staff, the owners, have that embodiment of what what this lifestyle really is and this culture is, and that's something that I have not felt lacking here. It has been there, and so then of course when I walked in, I remember my eyes got big that day because everybody doesn't have sofas. I'm a big sofa person. Yes. And they have 3 love seats sitting here, or this a sofa. Yeah. They have the sofa and then 2 love seats. And I just remember, I thought, oh my gosh, one of my favorite things when I was smoking back then, I love to sit on the sofa and prop my foot under my foot.
Oh, sure, yeah, tuck the leg under. Tuck the leg under. Absolutely.
That was like my favorite smoking. Then I just kind of lean over.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Some places just have chairs. This one has chairs as well. But I'm like, man, this is like everything I want, Yeah. And then I just sat and I actually pay attention when I'm smoking because I'm in such a dazed state that I'm looking at the decor, the color selection, and it's just so calming. It's so welcoming, almost like a home.
Excellent.
You know, like
that's really what we're going for, is the
really?
living room away from, you know, the living room that you can smoke in, because most people don't smoke in their own living room.
And that's
so
what I was just about to ask you. Like, what was the concept when you set it up? The living room.
Yeah, absolutely right. And we actually had, you know, this isn't just our male whatever artistic nature. We didn't do this. We actually had, like, you know, designers, and fortunately our mother was really involved as well. Like, always trust a woman to have good taste of how things look. Yeah. But
Mom did good.
Yeah,
you
she
guys
did fantastic.
Good. And that's actually, you know, I did a custom written piece for you.
Oh, really?
To go with this video. And that's one of the things I talked about, was when I came in here, I felt like I was sitting in my living room.
Excellent.
And where do you feel most comfortable at home?
Yeah, right.
Usually in the living room.
Absolutely. Living room and kitchen. Those are the two best rooms in the house.
And I remember thinking to myself, I can't smoke in my living room at home, but when I think of Paladin Cigars, that's the same as smoking in my living room at home. It is that comfortable. I remember when I came in, I think I was watching sports that night. That's another big thing for me when I smoke. I love to watch sports. So the other thing, I think your brother works here with you?
Yeah, it's my brother and I that run the shop primarily.
Yeah. So I guess, how do you get two people in the same family? I mean...
Well, you know, my brother Matthew and myself have always been really, really close, like best friends, ride or die. Like, I mean, since childhood, we've always shared a room, always lived together, and it's a little much at points, but fortunately we've gotten all of the youthful angst out of our way, and we don't really butt heads nearly as much or anything, so we just get along. We both have very similar ideas as far as customer service, about just all of that. I mean, stuff that is important to him is important to me, and vice versa. So I mean, our parents being involved is really good. You know, it's nice having that, you know, just like the family unit, and that we all get along. Like, thank God for that. That really helps out, because everybody always hears like, oh, it's a family business, you know, and they're like, oh, how do you work with your brother? I'm like, pretty easily, you know. I mean, we've had, not to say that we haven't had some hiccups along the way, obviously, but I feel like having the principles and you know, the foundation of everything is always has to be in place, so that if we do start getting off and I want to do some crazy idea over here, it's kind of like, oh no, let's get back to what we're actually here to do.
I love it. I love it. And I like the concept of family, because to me, the people that are a part of who we are, our upbringing, they really shape who we are. And I love hearing how it's shaped you into this culture that now gives us this. And maybe that's why I really get that sense of, like, I'm at home when I get here. Yeah. And then to hear also too, like, you can't balance each other out. And ultimately, it provides the best experience for us as customers. And so my next question is, when you're dealing with customers, tell me about, what do your customers feel like they get when they come here?
You know, actually, I was just having a conversation with a couple of them the other day about this, and, you know, there is that aspect of, you know, the customer experience, that they feel like we take care of them, as far as, you know, not just pushing the most expensive cigar on them, but getting them lined up. There's definitely that, but the majority of them are just really pleased with not only the relationship that they have with myself and my brother, you know, because we made a lot of good friends out of here, but there are a lot of people that have met because of the lounge, because of the comfort of all of this, and that they feel at home here, that they have now, you know, friends that I think that will probably be with them for the rest of their life, because of, and you know, cigar shops across the country, that, I mean, that is what we are really here for. I mean, obviously selling cigars and facilitating the need to buy tobacco and all of that, and like, okay, yeah, you want to go into a store and stuff, but at the end of the day, after you get your smoke, you know, that it's the people that you're hanging out with, and the environment, and who you meet. And I mean, if I ever moved to a different town, that would be the first thing I did, was go to another cigar shop, right? And just like find the people in that area. Who am I going to golf with around here? All of that stuff. Who am I going to watch sports with and smoke cigars? And that's just like the feedback that we get from a lot of our customers, of just the gratitude of the people that they have met through this location,
Yes.
and similar cigar shops around that.
And that part just you cannot miss when you come for the experience. I may like to sit and I'm enjoying the stick, by the way.
Oh, it's delicious, isn't it?
Oh, it's fabulous. And it's funny because I was telling your brother Matthew that when I first started going to lounges, the first hour and a half, do not talk to me, because me and my cigar, we were bonding.
Yep.
and that had to be uninterrupted. However, I'm getting better at it because now I'm like enjoying the cigar and talking to you, and I'm like, wow, the cigar is great, but I can like have a conversation and do it now.
Right.
Kind
Yes.
of like walking and chewing gum.
Yeah.
But the other part is at the end of that cigar, and now for me during smoking the cigar, because I've learned to do them both at the same time, is when I meet someone at the lounge. The conversation just starts so simply, so naturally, so authentic, and you be having a conversation with someone and you don't even feel like you know everything about them, but you just love that simple conversation. And a lot of times it starts with, hey, what are you smoking?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Right?
And what's your favorite cigar?
Yeah.
And there's for me, what I've experienced going to the lounge, seeing some of the same people repeatedly, we don't even get into deep conversation. We talk cigars.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like that's a language
Absolutely.
all in itself. And you're absolutely right. I end up feeling like I just made the best friend in the world. Like I went to kindergarten and Mom, I have a new friend.
Yeah. Oh, that's so true.
I met so-and-so on the playground and we're going to be best friends. And then you realize after 10 or 12 run-intos with that person, hey, we don't even know what each other does.
Yeah.
That cigar culture will do that to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because not everybody that you know enjoys it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's so different. I feel like, you get that a little bit in like especially craft beers. I feel like that's maybe one of the most, as far as alcohol related things, but most of the time you don't go to a wine bar and expect them to know a lot about wine.
Mm-hmm.
But with the cigar world, there is something a little bit different that they want to learn more about it. That you'll start telling them, oh, well, did you know that so-and-so bought this company, and they're fascinated by it.
Oh, wow.
And you can go, whereas I feel like you don't get that with, there are the wine snobs and stuff, and the people that love that, and that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about wine, but it's just one of those things that, I don't know, people are really fascinated by it, and they have what they like, and they like telling you about what they like, and yeah, you're right, that's a big aspect of it. That
you know what it makes me think of when you say that? And Matthew said it earlier when I was just setting up. It's a place where people feel like they can come and be heard.
That's a good way of saying it, yeah.
Yes, and as you said that, I'm just thinking to myself, and I don't, and we're not having like major discussions, but it's cigars, but people like to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be honest with you. One of the things I look for when I come to lounges is, do I have the ability to have a conversation with someone as comfortable and as simple and as authentic as you and I sitting here?
Yeah.
And this setup, I feel like I can be by myself and people will respect that I'm not in a talkative mood in the moment.
Sure.
But guess what? When we decide to have a conversation, it can be just this simple, this quaint. You don't have to yell across the room.
Yeah.
Everybody is within perfect earshot, and then the conversations can flow naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And you're absolutely right. When I think back over all of those lounges I visited, people just wanted to be heard, but mainly about the cigar experience they were having.
Yeah.
So you guys have done amazing to give us this. And honestly, every lounge is absolutely unique. This one, I could sit in every single day.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Every single day.
Yeah, I wish you lived a little closer. That would be fun to have you for sure.
I drove a long way to get here. I will tell you, I drove 90 miles.
Wow, we are so grateful that you did. I really appreciate that.
And they are my 10th interview. So this doing the top 10 was like another, just a huge accomplishment for me. I will do the rest of them. We already know that. But the first 10 were so significant. And I want people to know that even if you can't make all the ones I did in Dallas Fort Worth, I made every single one. I'm gonna tell the truth, every single one. But if you were to come to Paladin and Paladin, oh my gosh.
Yeah, right. We get it all the time.
You come to Paladin and you come to all the other ones that I've interviewed so far, hit those 10 and tell me what you think. Tell me if you're used to going to the same places over and over, hit the top 10 and tell me what you think. I already know what you're going to think because they were the top 10 for a reason. I think about it in terms of somebody like me who just simply loves to lounge.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, nobody wants to set that big goal of hitting every single one, but they wanted to know the full experience of the culture.
Yeah.
You guys in the top 10 would give them. You give them the coziness, the quaintness, the knowledge, the experience, just everything that would embody someone really wanting to come back.
Oh, thank you.
Now, they all do, but
Yeah.
you can only pick 10 to say, okay, some are really huge. I'm sure you know that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
are just, you're like, okay, wow.
Yeah.
Some, different things, but this one has that perfect ambiance that you could just sit here on a lunch break, on a weekend, bring a date.
Right.
You sure could. Yeah.
Always a nice mellow place for that.
Always a nice mellow place.
And I enjoy lounges where you can actually, like you said, talk without having to shout at each other.
Yes.
That maybe is, I mean, I like that every now and then, but it's a little bit more like a bar atmosphere some of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a great date spot. If she's okay with cigar smoke, I guess. Which,
well, that's how I got into lounging.
Oh, really?
Date.
Really? Oh, that's awesome.
We missed the first date, and then because we had some miscommunication, then he called and he said, "Can I have a do-over?" And I was
nice.
like, "Sure." I was like, "Great recovery."
Yeah, right.
And then he says, "Have you ever smoked a cigar or been to a lounge?" I was like, "Neither." He was like, "Would you go with me?" I was like, "Sure." So we went to a cigar lounge, and I've been smoking ever since.
That's awesome.
Learned a lot along the way. I'm sure you all know, don't inhale.
Oh, friend, no.
If you have a mouthful of smoke, that is not the time to decide to take a big gasp and laugh at each other. I've inhaled a few times to learn. Do not inhale.
He didn't warn you? That was like...
No, but I was in we were at where we were, it was funny because I was in the bathroom on the floor with the cold tile.
Oh, man.
I do not inhale, but anyway, we all know that by now.
Yeah, right.
It's just something that carried on.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's just been an awesome experience, and to see it come into this. What would you want people to know about Paladin? That just the customers, what would you want them to know that they don't know?
Well, as far as our customers go, I tell people all the time we have some of the best customers. And I mean, obviously I'm partial, but love our customers. They have, my brother and myself and anybody else who works here, we always try to greet people when they come in,
Yes.
as you know. But our customers are right there on board with them. I mean, if somebody's new in, they get their name, make them feel welcome. I mean, it's like...
They do.
It's like a church group almost. I mean, it's more welcoming than some church groups I've been to. I mean, I love churches, but like our customers are fantastic with integrating new people. I mean, getting up, even showing them around if I'm busy doing something, or if one of the people that's working here is busy. Our customers will get up and show them their favorite cigars and walk them around the humidor. And they're just, they're just really, they take that ownership of like, that we don't have any club or membership fees or anything like that, but they treat it like a country club that they belong to almost,
You know what?
which I really appreciate.
I'm glad to hear you say that, because that also has been a recurring theme. It's like the customers feel proud of this environment as well. And especially if it's one that, hey, this is where I come and this is where I frequent, they feel proud of it. And you know what, you're absolutely right, because when I sat here and smoked my cigar that night, there was a gentleman sitting here. He was like, "Hey, have you been back there? Have you seen this?" And they've got that. And I just remember thinking, at the time I was smoking, I'm thinking,
right. Leave me alone right
Leave
now,
me alone
right?
for a minute. But when I came out of that, I remember him saying, "Yeah, we've got that back there." And you could tell he had that sense of pride and ownership in, yeah, this is a great place. And Aaron and his brother, I remember he was just really fascinated. And that says a lot too, that someone that comes here feels like they look forward to getting back in the door every chance they get.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I mean, that's probably one of the biggest things that I would say that has just been, I mean, we've changed cigars a lot over the years and what we carry and, what sells and what doesn't sell, but our customers have been, I mean, we've had some of these people here from the very start when we opened up 9 years ago, and we changed company names and everything, but the customers stay the same, and they're awesome.
So the customers stay awesome.
Yeah, they're fantastic people.
So the other thing I'd like to know is I've kind of gotten a gist, and I'm going to say a gist because I do not claim to know what you all have become so fabulous at, but what would you say is probably one of the biggest challenges of owning a cigar lounge?
That's I would say honestly one of my biggest challenges is actually keeping at the work and not just wanting to hang out with the customers all the time. I mean, it's really tempting to just sit down and jabber with all the customers, and I definitely like to make time for that.
Yeah.
But every now and then I'm like, all right, I gotta actually do something during the day. They've not to get political or anything, but just like the legislations of them changing the smoking laws and keeping up with that. I mean, it's not a big thing, but
I've mentioned it already.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm comfortable saying it because this is a culture, and these environments are what we enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, for me to own 4 humidors.
Yes, that's awesome.
And kind of realize that I actually lounge a lot. I can't help but to think of how that affects me.
Yeah.
So thank you still for speaking about it, because I was also thinking my timing on doing this, it was just happenstance.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see where it could have a benefit.
Yeah.
Because we love you here.
Yeah, right.
We want you here. I don't mind driving 90 miles when I want to go somewhere. Mm-hmm. So I'm the way I lounge, I'm sincere about it. I do what I do. Make no mistake about it.
Professional lounger.
Yeah. If I'm sitting at home, I don't care if I've been to every single one. If I'm thinking to myself that day, I want to go to Paladin,
mm-hmm.
I will get in my car and I will come to Paladin.
Yeah.
Now, I don't feel that way about every lounge.
Mm-hmm.
But as many times as I thought about getting back here, and I'm like, I want this experience again.
Yeah.
And to know me is to know. I will drive to whatever lounge I want to drive to, and I do.
Yeah, that's excellent.
So for you, coming back here again was significant.
Yeah, well, we're really glad you made the trip. I remember the first time meeting you and just being so amazed that you had been to 40 lounges and that, right? I don't think I've ever, outside of like, cigar reps, that's their business is to do that. I don't think I've ever met somebody that's been that dedicated to going around and checking place out. So, I mean, having that kind of, that knowledge, I really respect your praise, and it means a lot because, I mean, you are a connoisseur of lounges now, for sure.
Well, and becoming quickly at the cigars, this one does not disappoint at all. That's all I'm going to say. As I keep smoking.
Well, and it's they use a lot of Ligero in that, but it's just so smooth. It doesn't have a lot of that pepperiness, but definitely sneaks up on you with a little strength there for sure.
Well, then my question is, did you remember what I liked? You couldn't remember because it's been so long, but you definitely hit the nail on the head. I don't like the peppery.
Yeah.
So this one, you're right. It's got plenty of Ligero, and I've smoked some tough stuff. But this one is absolutely smooth.
Yeah, they did a great job with that.
They did.
The Aladino family here at the JRE Ernesto something, I forget his name, but yeah, they make really good. So they're the same people that made that patent that I gave you last time. So that's what made me think of it when you mentioned that. I'm like, oh yeah, they should like the patent.
I saved that for a special smoke, and of course I was like, I'm gonna pick the time and day I want to smoke it, and I did, and I'm like, damn it, he's 90 minutes away. Like, I need like 2 more of these in the humidor, just to kind of look at them and decide when I want to smoke them. And I was telling them I have 4 humidors, so I've already filled 2, so
that's excellent.
if I take any extra cigars away from here today, I'll be opening humidor number 3.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. Break it in. Why not?
Breaking it in. Either that or just time to just get a bigger humidor.
Yeah.
That's what
there
I'm
you
thinking.
go.
Because they hold about 150 a piece.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. And yeah, humidors. That's I have a couple of stuff around here, and it's like I smoke a lot just out of our own supply, but I just love something about humidors and just opening them up and going through them and stuff, organizing. Just fun.
Yeah, I have fun with mine. I turn stuff over and I'm looking, I'm like, oh, what's in here? It's like almost like a, when you were in school and the teacher had the little toy box where you got all of whatever, you could go in and pick a little toy.
Right. Yeah, but you got the gold star and you got to pick the toy, right?
But I feel like when I open the humidor, which one am I going to open today?
Yes.
I think I'll open this one. Oh, I want to smoke that one, So, yeah. Right. But again, the main thing I want to tell you too is thank you for trusting me to do this interview. My whole goal is to really get behind the lounges and support you.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate it.
And like I said, if I'm 90 minutes away, I can tell one person here and there.
Yeah.
But if I can do this, then you have a voice and a face and a platform.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and
we greatly appreciate that.
What better way to compliment you? If I can't get here a lot, I can say, oh, I know this great place, but then I can't support you financially.
Mm-hmm.
So there's different ways to support.
Absolutely.
And this is how I chose to do it.
Yeah, it is a fantastic community. I mean, for being a multi-billion-dollar or whatever, I mean, it's such a tight-knit, everybody kind of knows each other in the cigar world, and really appreciate that you would come out of your way to do that.
Yeah, so I guess when I think about all the lounges that have started up, and I'm thinking, this stuff is, it's a lot of intricate work and detail, because I think about the humidor, I think about what it takes to get the product there, I think about how you have to inventory, you're ordering, and I'm thinking, man, you guys stay pretty busy.
Yeah.
Also, we can sit down and just have this beautiful experience.
Yeah. There's definitely stuff to do, but really the people in the other countries, they do most of the hard work.
Yes.
we just take them out of boxes and put them on the shelf compared to what they do down there. They're the real heroes for sure. I mean, I don't know if you've ever watched that the hand-rolled documentary that Pete Johnson made with Tatuaje Cigars.
No, I haven't.
It's a great documentary, and he has interviews with a lot of the names in there that have been around forever, but it just goes into breaking down how many people are involved with the process. Schools and stuff that are basically founded around these tobacco, these rolling factories and all of that.
Is it like 200 people that actually touch a cigar?
Yeah, something like that.
I was going to say that number
people.
kind of jarred in my head, but it's a lot of people. Just for me to smoke this, there's like 200 people that touch it before it actually gets to me.
Yeah. And I was talking with a young man the other day, and he was mentioning that that's kind of part of his cigar ritual, is that before he lights it up, he'll cut it and just kind of think about the people and all the families that were affected, and people that put shoes on their kids' feet because of this cigar that he's smoking. And I'm like, wow, that's deep. Like, that's some Zen smoking right there. But
and I'm loving it because you find something you like, but the story like that gives you more appreciation for it.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people don't think that far, and we just buy the finished product.
Yeah.
And of course, there's no way in the world I could miss wanting to learn more and even learning more, period, just because of the number of interviews and just sitting and talking to people. And so a little bit more gets imparted into me each time.
Absolutely.
So I want to tell you, thank you for sharing, and everybody's experience is different. Every lounge owner hasn't done the traveling like you did at a young age. The families were not necessarily involved like yours is. So I think highlighting the uniqueness of letting people know what sets you apart from everybody else is part of what I enjoy the most, is making sure people know who you are making sure people know that when they come in, this is not just, hey, give me your money.
Right.
You know, this is, hey, what do you want?
Yeah.
We want you to have this experience. And you did, I mean, you deliver.
Well, thank you.
You deliver.
Really appreciate that.
Now, I'm going to ask this because I ask it every time. And in all fairness, we're going to keep it's true to form. Do you have any questions for me? Is there anything you want to know that I can answer that?
Gosh, I mean, what were well, I don't want to talk about like any other cigar shops here, but what are some of your favorite things that, I mean, you mentioned some of the stuff that you look for in that. Like, what's one of the best selections that you've seen? I mean, like, because I know I always like to go to different cigar shops right now because, I mean, there are so many different cigars out there. Do you prefer something like more boutique cigars, more name brand, if there's a lot of stuff? What do you look for in the selection of a cigar? In the selection, I look for quality. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you, honestly, when I walk in, I don't know what has happened to my brain, but I know quality when I see it, even though I don't know cigars. Sure. So when I walk into your humidor, my eyes go, ooh. They get really big. I'm like, oh gosh, you know, it's got the good stuff. Yeah. I can see that right away. I've been into some humidors that are just ginormous. One place looks so small, and it was like maybe just a few seats in the front. But the humidor was half the damn store. Oh, that's awesome. And I was like, I walked in and I thought, oh my God, you know, and it was, that's what I'm saying. Everyone will blow your mind in some way. But I remember looking and I was like, oh, he's got this. Oh, he's got that. I was like the kid in the candy store who was like, okay, which candy bar do I want today? How much money do I have, you know? And knowing if you could walk away, but the size just impressed me because you didn't expect to see it that big. Sure. Now the selection was good too, very good. But I found it's not necessarily the size that impresses me. It's when I walk in, when I look around yours, at first I'll do this and then I'll go, oh my God, oh my God. You know, it's just like surprise after surprise. So if you want to know what I look for, it is definitely, now as far as boutique, I have smoked boutique. To me, as long as I get the experience I want. Now, I'm not great at picking out everything, so I rely on people like you. Sure. To walk in and say, I want something that's smooth. I'm looking for a pretty tough stick today, you know, Maduro, Oscuro. Yeah. But I need it to be smooth, not peppery. I need it to last, you know, a good hour and a half. I need to be able to tell you what I'm looking for. But I guarantee you, when I did that day, I think I told you 4 different cigars, and you met every single one of them. Right. To me, that's all the impression I need. All right, yeah, awesome. So I can walk in and see 1,000,000 cigars, but I'm like, hey, yeah, when I go home and smoke each one, I'm like, this one did exactly what he told me it would. Awesome. That part you cannot trade for the world. Because I may not necessarily want to get into cigars. Sure. But I know I want the experience when I smoke it. And that's where I count on you. Awesome. And you did it. Yeah. Well, that's every good to know. Single cigar, what I said, I want one that's this, I want one that's that. And you was like, well, maybe you could try this one, and this one will do this. And I was like, but no pepper. Yeah. Right. No spices. And you were like, okay, then let's not do that one. It's like you immediately knew. And I'm like, how in the heck do they know this stuff? Well, I don't like a spicy cigar either. Really. Like, I love a strong cigar, but that spice, nope. So yeah, I definitely know which ones. I'm like, oh, okay, she doesn't like spice. I don't like that one. So yeah. Another question I would have for you, as far as you know, you're doing stuff like this, and you're heavily engaged on social media, no doubt. Have you ever, do you think that has affected your desire for a cigar at all? Like, is there ever a cigar that you've just seen out there on the gram or on Facebook a lot that you're just like, oh man, people keep on smoking that, like I gotta go find one now? When I walk into a humidor and I see it, I'm like, hey, as a matter of fact, you got one that I wanted to smoke. I totally forgot. The Placinia, the 6 side. Oh, yeah. Oh, the my God. Yep. When I saw that one, I'm like, I keep seeing that one in different lounges. And I'm like, I keep walking away from it. And I did tell the gentleman earlier, I was like, I want to smoke that one for camera. But then I forgot, because when I saw you, guess what went to my mind? Oh, he can pick me a good cigar. Awesome. All right.
And then when you came back, I'm like, and I'm smoking this one and enjoying it, and I totally forgot about the other one.
Oh, right. Yeah. I forgot about that too. That cigar is a legend right now.
Is
I mean,
it?
It's,
What
yeah,
makes it?
it's just, I don't know. I mean, it's just probably one of the most consistent that people that have smoked it have come back and been like, yeah, that's it. Like,
Well, you know she's going home with me today. Right?
Yeah, right there
Yeah.
you go. All right,
Yeah.
we'll definitely get one for
She's
you.
going home with me today, no doubt.
And and I mean, and the hexagon press
Yes.
thing or whatever, that's just so unique.
It
and it's a
is.
little gimmicky, whatever. Does it really smoke all that differently? I don't know, but it's freaking awesome. That's
Well,
what I
tell you
know.
what, when I looked at it, I thought awesome, and she's going home with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was actually I thought I'd be smoking it because when I took the scent and got the aroma, then I was like, oh yeah. It's like I fall in love when I smell a cigar.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't even. I should know more about that cigar right now. I'm feeling a little bad, but I just know it's awesome. I don't know what kind of wrapper it is. I don't know. I don't really know anything about it. Just that it's fantastic.
That's
It's bold, but it's a real nice cigar.
I smoke the bold stuff.
Yeah.
I smoke the light stuff too, but on the days when I'm like today, let's see, this is the 10th lounge. This caps the 40, the 10th interview. You were my 40th. There's another significant event I'm celebrating today too.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that would be a wonderful. When I'm feeling like a real badass, that's how I determine what I'm smoking that day. Depending when I get up and decide how badass am I feeling.
I like that.
Oh my gosh, I'm feeling like you just put another, nail in this, coffin, and you just sealed this deal, or you've done that. Oh, that's when I will pull out the tough shit.
Sure, right?
Oh,
the celebratory cigars, absolutely.
And that would be one of them.
Yeah.
If it's that strong. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. No, and I like that you pick your cigar around the mood. It's for sure. I get that question a lot from people, like, oh, well, what's your best cigar in here? And it's like, that's up to you. Like, that's your...
So do you have a top seller? Or do you kind of find that it changes?
We do have a couple of top sellers. We have a line called King's Cask, which is just they have a cognac cigar and a vanilla cigar, and I don't do too much of the flavored smokes, but God help me, they sell really well. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that like that, and I don't judge. And a lot of people just getting into it, that they kind of seem overwhelmed by it, and you're like, oh, and this cigar is cognac infused, it's got a little sweetness. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. Like that's it's like putting sugar in your coffee, like I'm like, fine, I like my coffee black, but some people like it with the creamer and all that. So it's all a matter of preference. But yeah, that consistently. My father, their cigars, the La Bijou, basically all three of the cigars that they released last year, the La Promesa, the Opulencia, and the Fuerte, are all really, really good sellers there.
He knows his stuff, okay? I'm telling you, he knows his stuff.
Yeah, well, and anything from Nicaragua right now is doing great too.
Oh, really?
I mean, the Dominican cigars still rocking. Don't get me wrong, that one is a fantastic Honduran smoke, but Nicaragua is just crushing it, and especially now that their social demographic and the government and all that whatever was going on down there has mellowed out a little bit. Yes. Now they're everything is really good. So
well, I can't say enough that those of us that sit around and smoke and then socialize and smoke. I mean, and everything you shared today, I appreciate my cigars even more.
Yeah.
And and I don't want to sound over the top, but when I open my humidors now, I will not see them the same, just from this conversation we had, because I never think, because I don't know enough of how in depth this really goes.
Sure. Yeah.
But now I'm glad. It makes me even gladder that I'm sitting here doing this.
Yeah.
Because the way you just described, I'm like, okay, it feeds families. It gives people jobs. I'm thinking, wow, when I see that, now I will actually remember that.
Yeah, it's kind of a beautiful thing.
It is.
You can enjoy it and you're like, yeah, and I'm giving back a little.
Yeah. I would say so.
Yeah, that's positive.
Well, in closing, I just cannot say enough how overwhelmed and humble I am that the lounges are allowing me to do this. To me, this is your livelihood. this is your passion or you wouldn't be doing it. I know because I have passion. It may be completely different from yours. And the passion that we share is your livelihood provides me with something else I love to do, which is the cigars. But I think so far I've knocked them out of the park on every single one.
No doubt, yeah. So, I'm sure that you were very well received by every lounge you go to.
Every single one. And when I ask, it's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, thank you. So to be able to put Paladin out here and to let people know this is a place to come. This is a place to support. Fabulous selection, fabulous staff, fabulous environment. It's in Fort Worth. Everybody doesn't live as far away as I am. But I'm going to tell you now, every lounge I go to is far away from where I live.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You guys need one up there?
The closest one to me there's two. One in 27 miles in one direction, the other in 30 miles another direction.
Oh, wow.
However, one takes me 30 minutes to get to, the other takes me 45 to 50 minutes. But just so you know, I mean business about my lounges. The one that I consider my home lounge is the 50 minutes. And yes, wow. I drive it.
Nice.
Every single week, sometimes twice a week.
Nice. That's fantastic.
So the distance doesn't scare me.
Mm-hmm.
When I find something quality,
right,
and it's for me, that's where I'm going.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so I can do the one that's a little bit closer.
Yeah.
But I choose that one because I'm like, hey, this is the one that if I need to come in and do what I do in a lounge,
right,
that's it.
Yeah.
And and I'll do it every time. But, you know, I make my way to Fort Worth. I have a better work schedule now. God.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm real glad to hear that. That helps so much with stuff.
So.
Well, thank you so much for coming through.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. It's fantastic to see you again. And I remember the first time she came in here, she was telling me about all of this and everything and her plan, and
just made it happen.
Most people just talk about that stuff, but she's actually doing it.
I'm glad to hear you say that because I guess that's something that a lot of the owners, because I mean, that's what they're like, you really did this. And I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, but I said I was.
Oh, right. There's a lot of stuff that's said in cigar shops.
Yes, and so, yeah. And
well, I'm guilty of that too. I mean, shoot, there's a...
Hey, we all are. Yeah. But like you found your passion here to do this, this seems to do something to me that made me feel like, just get it done. But it was so easy. It was so easy. And I love the fact that I am that welcomed and I am that trusted. And
sure.
I'm going to do you guys justice.
Yeah. Greatly appreciated.
Yes. So, don't I look cute smoking a cigar?
Right.
So, yes, that's one of the things.
That's why you really got into it. You're like, what a great accessory, right?
But one of the things too, like I love sitting with my girlfriends, like we meet up for drinks or go to dinner or sometimes lunch on my off days. I love that, but I'm thinking when I'm sitting there with them now, I'm like, I'd love for us to go to the cigar lounge. Now they don't smoke, but there's a couple that I was like, hey, go with me. Yeah. And we've actually sat and we've smoked.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was their first time.
Nice.
And so, you know, I'm just like, I'm digging this.
Yeah.
Like, totally.
Excellent.
So, looking to get more people, you know, like, hey, let's hang out at the cigar lounge for you know, a time.
Yeah. It's a good culture.
It is. Sure. And I would love for them to be a part of it.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Well, thank you so much for watching today. The beautiful written piece, custom written piece for Paladin will go up with the video shortly after we leave camera, and continue to watch as their photo gallery will also go up. I love to give full highlight to the lounge. I don't want to just sit here and talk about them. I want you to read about them, read about my experience when I came, what I remember, what stood out, what passion I had to want to come back. And yes, this is one that may be far, but it is worth coming back to. And then also enjoy the beautiful photo gallery. In a couple of days, they will also be going up to YouTube channel Fancie Moore. So please go out and see them there. And we have a lot more in store as we finish this It's still called Road to 40 Lounges, but we are so far past 40 lounges, and I'm looking forward to delivering these regularly for you now. And just go to YouTube and subscribe to Fancie Moore, and tell your friends. If you're used to going to the same lounge, try some new ones. If you have friends, you're sitting at home on the patio, wherever, come out to some of the lounges and support them. It is amazing, fabulous, and I'm meeting some of the most fantastic people in the world that I would never meet otherwise. And it's not the same as a grocery store or at the gym, because there you can say, hey, how you doing? But when you sit here, you connect.
Yeah.
You said it so beautifully. You connect with people. And I could have 10 interactions and we still just be talking cigars. And you feel like you made the best friend in the whole wide world.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate you coming by.
And again, for a fabulous recommendation.
Absolutely. That's what I'm here to do.
So if you don't mind, I want to finish this. Then I'm going to get that other one I saw up front to take with me.
Yes, absolutely.
Because when I'm done with all I got to do today, I can see myself posting up and
excellent, right?
Get that one out
yeah,
of
the accomplishment cigar. Yes, absolutely.
So yeah,
perfect.
And feel free to inbox me, message me, send your friends to Fancie Moore Facebook page, ask to friend me. I would love to have you there, have everybody seeing it. And thanks so much for watching. All right. Yeah, we did it.